All right, so number 8 on the projectile sheet says a projectile hits the ground 10 seconds after it was fired from the ground and moves a horizontal distance of 600 meters. So our delta dx is 600 meters and our total time is 10 seconds. What was the original velocity? So we're looking for vi and theta because remember velocity is a vector. So in the x direction, we don't know vix. And I would say when you don't know both either vi or theta, don't break it down into vi cos theta and vi sine theta because that just introduces two unknowns under both sides. So just leave it as viy and vix. Ax is 0. Delta dx is 600 meters. And we have our total time. It's 10 seconds. And so now, because you haven't broken it into VI and cos theta, now you only have one unknown here and you can find it. Okay, AY is 9.81 meters per second squared down. And TU is 5 seconds. And so now the only thing we don't know, if we look at the up, is VIY, and we can find this. Okay, so that it's advantageous to not break it down. So in the x direction, delta dx is equal to VIX delta t, 1/2 AX delta t squared. This goes to 0. VIX is just delta dx over delta t. So 600 meters over 10 seconds. VIX is just 60 meters per second. In the y direction, do AY is equal to VFY minus VIY over delta TU. This goes to 0, and you're solving for VIY, so AY times delta TU. So negative VIY is equal to negative 9.81 meters per second squared times 5 seconds. The two negatives disappear. VIY is equal to 49.05 meters per second. So now that you have these two, you can find your VI and your theta, right? VIX, 60 meters per second. VIY, 49.05 meters per second. Square them, add them together, take the square root, and find the angle. So VI will equal 77.5 meters per second at an angle of 39.27 degrees, and that's with respect to the ground. Okay, so that's number 8. Then I also asked you to go down and do number 11 and 12. I skipped a couple because we're only going to get to those today. But 11 is a hunter aims directly at a target. Now that was my hint to tell you it's a horizontal projectile, aims directly at the target. So there is a VIX only, 140 meters away. Okay, so that's delta dx is 140 meters. If the bullet leaves the gun at 280 meters per second, by how much will it miss the target? What is delta dy? Okay, so if you break into x and y, VIX, 280 meters per second, delta dx, 140 meters, don't know delta t. AX, of course, is 0. In the y direction, VIY is 0 because it's a horizontal projectile. AY is 9.81 meters per second squared. Looking for delta dy, also don't know delta t. This time you're going to start in the x direction because you have delta dx and VIX. So delta dx equals VIX, delta t, 1/2 x delta t squared. This goes to 0. Delta t is going to equal delta dx over VIX. So 140 meters over 280 meters per second. The time ends up being a half a second. So now take that and go to the y. Delta dy is equal to VIY delta t, 1/2 AY delta t squared. This goes to 0, and you're looking for delta dy. So 1/2, you don't have to put the 9.81 in as a negative this time because everything is going down. So you can just call down positive. 1/2 a second squared, so 1/8 of 9.81. Delta dy should be equal to 1.225 meters. And the number 12, the last one. A diver runs 1.6 meters per second, dives out horizontally. It is a horizontal projectile again. VIX is 1.6 meters per second. From the edge of a vertical cliff, hits the water 3 seconds later. So in the x direction, VIX 1.6 meters per second, delta t 3 seconds, AX 0, delta VIY 0, AY 9.81 meters per second squared, delta t 3 seconds. We don't know delta dy, we don't know delta dx, but I do believe that's exactly what they're asking for. One unknown in each side, pick a side, start there. Delta dx is equal to VIX delta t, 1/2 AX delta t squared. This term goes to 0, and you don't even have to rearrange. So delta dx is equal to 1.6 meters per second times 3 seconds. Delta dx is equal to 4.8 meters, I believe. Delta dy is equal to VIY delta t 1/2 AY delta t squared. This term goes to 0. Don't have to rearrange again. 1/2 9.81 meters per second squared. Whoops, I don't know. Okay, times 3 seconds squared. I thought I had crossed both terms out there for a second. And when you do this, 44.145 meters, and you are done. Okay, so hopefully horizontal ones are easy, and as long as I bet if these two messed you up, I suspect it's because you didn't recognize them as horizontal. All right, so today, next up, non-ground to ground.